It was something out of a fable. I had never traveled to the Underdark before, so I didn't truly know what to expect. My guide, Mr. Stonebeard, was the expert, called himself a gloomstalker or some such nonsense, something from a dwarven tradition, I assume. But there we were, 2 miles down, trudging through the darkness, when something fell down from the roof of the cave and sucked the damned life out of Miss Dancing Gem, our gnome demolitions expert. It was a floating pool of impenetrable darkness that came down and stole the breath right out of her lungs. I know I'm prone to the dramatic, but this was the dramatic. She was there 1 minute, enveloped by darkness the next, and then dead on the cave floor the next as the swath of moving darkness fluttered away. Bloody horrifying. There was nothing I could do except pick up her pack, empty her pockets, and carry on. We never managed to get close during our expedition, and if I was to get close to an Umber Hulk for further study, I'd need the explosives that she had brought along. Besides, Mr. Stonebeard didn't seem too bothered by the affair. A hazard of the job, he called it. An excerpt from the personal journals of Professor Lionel Ducamp, Neverwinter's foremost expert on the ecology of the Umber Hulk, written during his inaugural expedition to the Underdark. Hey there, creatures, and welcome to Encounter This, a podcast exploration of the creatures from Dungeons & Dragons and the lore that surrounds them.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Encounter This. My name is Freeman Shargos Eiston, and today, my good friend and co-host, we're bringing us through another creature. He is, of course, known as James Hangtight Kid, obviously. And this creature will be the Darkmantle. 2 words put together. Does that count as a portmanteau? No, it's got to be like 2 words smashed together, doesn't it? For portmanteau. But Darkmantle, page 46 of the Monster Manual. Take it away.
Yeah.
No, wait. No, take it away.
Okay. No, this does not count as a portmanteau because neither word loses a letter, like brunch.
If it was Darkmantle, it would be a portmanteau.
Or Dantle. Yes, that would be a portmanteau. This is just a compound word.
Okay. Compound word. I haven't heard that phrase in a while.
Compound word that's become a noun. So I don't know if it was a noun first or what have you, but in the Forgotten Realms, they are known as the Darkmantle.
Okay. Tell me about them. Yeah, I don't feel like I know anything about them.
There's not a lot to know. They're fun. I like them. I think they're really neat creatures. We're going to start this episode with a quote from the Monster Manual. This is by Ethelred. Ethelred, the fighter, after his
insert shitty fantasy name here.
Yeah. After his first encounter with a Darkmantle. And it's just, remind me again why we're on this quest.
I like it.
Yeah. So they come from 3rd, 4th, and 5th edition. They're a little bit older. They're like these octopi subterranean creatures with a limestone-colored skin and a stony dorsal shell. I've sent you some artwork there, and you can kind of see in the 5th edition artwork and the 3rd edition artwork specifically that they've got like these this thick membrane, especially in the 3rd edition, that stretches down between the tentacles about 2/3 the way down.
Oh, yeah.
And then in the 5th edition artwork, you can really see that their tentacles are covered in these teeth-like hooks and like the suckers of an octopus, which are these sensory organs that allow them to taste, smell, or even hear.
Yeah. It's like an octopus mated with an umbrella.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah, I mean, that's not...
It looks cool.
That's not an unapt comparison.
Yeah. Also, Cthulhu somehow mixed in.
Yeah, very much. Underneath all of that, they have this lamprey-like mouth. So it's a completely circular mouth with rows upon rows of interior teeth. Really, really horrifying. I didn't want to send a picture of it because I didn't want to look it up. Lampreys give me nightmares.
Yeah, they are awful. Google at your own risk, listeners.
Yeah. And they are, on average, about 10 kilos or 30 pounds, so they're not light.
Okay.
And they range to about 1 meter long or 4 feet long for those of us who use that measuring system.
Mm-hmm.
And they do not have any bones whatsoever, but they do have what's known as a statocyst, which is an organ used for balance by mollusks. And it can be used for things like curing and stuff like that. And we'll throw this up on the Instagram, but there is a photo of the anatomy of a Darkmantle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's from the Ecology of Monsters, which if I can find, I will also throw up there.
Well, that's pretty neat. Now, you say it's got no bones, but it's got teeth on its tentacles? How does that work?
Well, teeth aren't a bone, they're cartilage.
Is it?
I thought they were.
I thought teeth were a bone. Quick, Google it. Are teeth bone?
Are teeth made of bone? Even though teeth and bone seem very similar, they're actually different. Teeth are not bone.
Oh. Holy shit. That's news to me. I like it. Learn something new every day.
That's one of the main premises of this entire show.
Okay, cool. So there goes my first attempt to see through the inconsistencies, and I have failed. All right. So not bones.
Not
Staticist. Status is organ for balance. Okay, I'm following you. Okay.
Yep.
What else you got?
They're and larger versions, according to previous editions of D&D, are called envelopers. They're not called Darkmantles. So, like, Darkmantles are the really tiny ones. If they grow to be any larger, they will become what's known as an enveloper.
Which is kind of terrifying in its own sense, given its shape. You don't want to be like totally surrounded by that.
And that's kind of their whole deal. But before we get there, these creatures, they're about as smart as a dog. So, you know, there's a serious level of intelligence there, I think, considering dogs are pretty clever. And they can be found in packs similar to canines, but their packs are known as clutches or swarms, which is never a good sign. They can quote-unquote see in natural darkness, but all of their eyes are vestigial, and they use echolocation, which is another reason why they have the status.
Oh, okay. Because I did note, there's like an eye for like every tentacle, essentially, all around the top on both those pieces of art.
A lot of eyes.
They look much more vestigial in the 5e art.
Yeah.
If you zoom in on the 3e one, they're red eyeballs. But yeah, the 5e, they're very clear, just like these sort of white balls.
They're really neat.
That's pretty cool.
And they can slither like an octopus, which I don't know if you've ever seen an octopus walk on land, but it's fucking horrifying.
It is gnarly.
They also have magical flight using a propulsion method like an octopus, which is pretty neat, actually. I'm sure most people out there have seen an octopus swim, but essentially what they do is they take all of their tentacles, spread them all the way out, and then compress them really quickly. Yeah. That's what propels them forward.
Just create like a jet almost, eh? And
yeah, exactly. So
these things can do this in the air.
Yeah.
Wild.
And they can disguise themselves like a stalactite with their head pointing down. The reason I can remember that is because stalactites hang tight.
Oh, I always remember it because stalactite has a C, and C also stands for ceiling. It's not a very good mnemonic device. That's what I've done. And then stalactite, G means ground.
Okay.
Go team.
And there is a photo of them camouflaging into the caves. Another piece of art from the Ecology.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Man, those Ecology books were awesome. That's cool. So, of course, my brain right away was like, oh, these are some water creatures. And then you tell me they can fly, and now they hang like stalactites. I'm like, this is not what I thought at all.
Yeah, so these are Underdark creatures that hang on cavern ceilings and wait for other creatures to pass. When somebody passes below them, they will unfurl that like cloaked tentacleness in a magical darkness, which they can produce before clutching their prey. So imagine like this stalactite falls, emanates magical darkness, and then just tries to suffocate you.
Crazy.
Yeah, and if it misses, it'll just propel itself back up to the ceiling to try again later.
There's one other creature that does this, or two, but they're related. Piercer and the Roper.
Yeah.
We haven't covered them, but I always remembered them as being a terrifying underground thing. I had no idea the Darkmantle was doing the same thing, or a similar thing anyway. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they're actually thought to be relatives of the Roper.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And other people believe they evolved from the Piercer.
Gotcha.
And they can survive for about 7 days between feedings, which is, quite a long time, but not that long for creatures in the Underdark.
Yeah.
They are hermaphroditic, and they mate in pairs, laying a clutch of 6 to 8 eggs. The eggs are about chicken-sized, but they can easily camouflage into rocks. And then after about a 10-day, which is in the Forgotten Realms, a week is called the 10-day because it consists of 10 days. They hatch into these 1-inch long black grubs with these really, really long tongues. And then after 7 days, the tongue lengthens further on these grubs, splits, and that becomes the tentacles. And that's how they kind of go from this larval stage into Darkmantles.
Right. Crazy. Okay, that makes sense, because then the mouth's kind of in the center, and yeah, creepy.
Yeah. And they don't require sleep, but they can hibernate if they feel the need. So if they're in a cave, that's not seeing much action, they can just call it a night, essentially.
That sort of makes sense, because you said like the 7 days is not a long time for the Underdark, because surely food is quite scarce in general by comparison to like a woodland, right? But if they can hibernate and conserve their energy, surely that extends quite a bit longer.
Yeah. And they also appear in Pathfinder, but they're quite a bit different. So instead of being on the inside, the lamprey-like mouth is on the outside.
Oh.
So they extend their tentacle flaps, and that kind of acts as like a parachute while the point opens up into their mouth.
Oh, crazy.
Because they're creatures of the Underdark and abominations, they are favored creatures of Shargas, one of the gods of the orcs, which we touched upon in our last.
I recognize the name, yeah.
And Ganador, which is a drow god of abominations.
Oh.
Yeah. So they reside in the Shadowfell, and a part of the Underdark called the Upper Dark, which is everything that ranges from 0 to about 4.83 kilometers deep, or about 3 miles down. So anything between ground level and 3 miles down is actually known as the Upper Dark.
Okay.
Even though it's like a subdivision of the Underdark.
Mm-hmm. The upper part of the Under.
Yep. And they are sometimes kept as pets, specifically by the Shadowkai, which we will touch on in an upcoming suite to be determined.
Oh, yeah, okay. Shadowkai.
Yeah, scholars believe that they evolved, or that they originated from the Shadowfell, but like I said earlier, there's a lot of evidence in the Forgotten Realms, at least, that they evolved from piercers.
Right.
And that's it for the D&D lore. Well, okay, so I got one fun fact here. Their eyes can be used as a material component for the Dark Dispel, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh, that is neat.
But other than that, that's it for the D&D stuff, man. It's they're not complicated. They're just neat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. I guess it's going to be all stat block at this point, eh? They're creepy. They're neat. They got a little camouflage action. Nice little tidbits of ecology, but yeah.
As far as cultural lore goes, they're legit just a cave octopus.
There's a cave octopus?
Yeah. They're the octopus of the cave.
Fair enough. Cool. Octopus. Danger.
Their mouths are substantially less horrifying than an octopus mouth, but...
Really? I think the octopus mouth the beak is more terrifying than the lamprey mouth?
Well, this is.
Uh-oh. That's not real. Please post that on Instagram.
Okay.
That is unsettling.
Yeah.
Listeners, it's a picture of an octopus, but someone has cropped in a human teeth and lips on the bottom. Yeah. It's so weird.
They are not great. It's not great. It is. If I put it on the Instagram, it's going to come with a big old caveat. Like, can you block out images? Like, can you make them NSFW?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I don't think so.
Probably not going to put it on Instagram then.
If you're a subscriber on Patreon, you can see it in the show notes.
That's correct. And that's it for the Darkmantle.
Sweet cultural lore segment. Amazing. Well, okay. Well, I mean, I don't have anything to say. It's gonna be all stat block here, I guess. Hopefully, It's not disappointing.
I don't think so.
Okay. I'm kind of wondering, is it an aberration or is it a monstrosity? I can't really quite tell.
Oh, right. Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah. I kind of want to say aberration only because I know, like, there's like this, I think, loosely held possibility that, like, octopuses, are possibly, like, came from an organism that, like, landed on Earth. There's like this alien idea that's out there because not that an octopus landed on Earth, but like whatever organism it evolved from is to have maybe come from somewhere other than Earth because of how unbelievably different they are from anything around them. Something like that. It's probably a loosey-goosey conspiracy theory, but it just always makes you think octopus, alien, aberration.
Fair enough. Have you ever read any Adrian Tchaikovsky?
I have not.
Okay, so he wrote these two books so far called the Children of Time series. The first one is the Children of Time. The second one is the Children of Ruin. And it's where octopuses in space actually evolve into something very similar to that. They're really cool books.
Cool. I'm all about it.
Highly recommend. This week's episode brought to you by Audible. No, that's a joke. Definitely not brought to you by Audible. But if it was, this would be a great time to suggest The Children of Ruin, which is a fantastic sequel to Children of Time. And it's a great, great audiobook. I loved it. Right, which actually does bring us to our ad break, where we should thank Strange Fellows for the darkness that they bring to our lives.
One could say they envelop our lives.
Oh, I like it.
In particular, our livers. Oh my God, was that my first semi-okay segue?
It was fantastic. I would go so far as to say if we had a mantle, we would put it up there.
Oh, but knowing me, I don't know anything about lighting. It would be poorly lit and therefore dark.
We would in fact have a dark mantle. We're sorry, Strange Fellows. We're normally better than this. It's been a long day of recording.
Yeah, we've done a lot of recording today.
Yeah, hour 7 or something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Mechanics.
Sick.
CR1/2. HP 11. AC 11.
Wow.
Small. Monstrosity.
Monstrosity. Okay. Monstrosity makes sense. And again, I think it's probably been a while, but I always imagine monstrosities as like genuine beasts, but have been twisted by magic to a point where they're not like natural beasts anymore. So that makes sense.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
They are unaligned, which makes all of the sense in the world.
Mm-hmm.
They don't speak any languages. They have a land speed of 10 feet to reflect the slithering, and a fly speed of 30 feet to reflect that they're gliding.
Mm-hmm.
And they have no sight, but they do have blind sense. Or blind sight, 60 feet.
Blind sight 60 feet, echolocation.
Yep.
Makes sense. Although, I imagine if you manage to deafen one.
Yep. That's actually the first ability is echolocation. Yeah.
Oh,
and they cannot use blind sight while deafened is the only line in that ability. Yeah.
You can hire me anytime, wizards. Nailed it.
The second ability is false appearance. When motionless, they are indistinguishable from a cave formation, be it a stalactite or a stalagmite.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
They have one real attack here, and it's called Crush. So it's a 5-foot reach, +5 to hit, 1d6 +3 bludgeoning. If the target is a medium or smaller, the Darkmantle has advantage on this attack.
Oh, okay.
It then attaches to the creature's head, and the target is blind and unable to breathe. The Darkmantle can no longer attack any other creature, and its speed is 0, though it can detach by moving 5 feet, and it is a DC 13 strength check to remove said Darkmantle from your face parts.
Right. This is just how that works. This has nothing to do with them dropping from the ceiling?
That would be like the inciting incident of the encounter.
Right.
Like, because of their false appearance, you wouldn't notice them regardless of whatever perception check you made. So the encounter would start, a surprise first round. The Darkmantle would just let go, fall onto you, and then attempt to crush.
Right.
which is a melee attack.
Huh. I feel like that's already something I'm not a fan of. Like, I feel like the dropping almost should be a separate thing from the crush. Because by that reading, they just, regardless of the dropping and the surprise, they're just getting advantage on the attack if you're medium or smaller. Like, now they're even down. You're not surprised anymore, and they're still getting advantage?
I think the crush is so the surprise round starts, and the movement is the release or grapple on the ceiling, and then the action is the crush attack. So, like, it's a two thing. Twofer.
Right, I'm following on that. I don't see how this adds up when they're no longer on the ceiling and coming down on top of you. How does the crush still operate the exact same way? Because that's all they have for an attack, eh?
Yeah, that's it.
That seems sloppy.
oh, I see what you mean. Like the second,
you know what
round,
I mean? Like,
if it's already on you, yeah.
Or it missed you, right?
Well, if it missed you, the theory is it just flies away and goes back up and waits for another attack.
Okay. All right. You're sort of selling me.
Well, so they have one other attack, which is not actually an attack, and it's a darkness aura. So once per day, they can radiate 15 foot of magical darkness that moves with it. So the idea is, it activates the darkness aura, drops from the ceiling, attempts to crush you. If it misses, it just floats away. It's still in this magical darkness and reattaches to the ceiling. Waits for the next member of the party to walk by.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Magical darkness, dark vision cannot penetrate. Natural light doesn't illuminate, and dispels light of spells of second level or lower, which is actually pretty hardcore for a darkness spell.
Yeah.
And it's concentration, unfortunately, but up to 10 minutes.
Right. Yeah, I feel like, I guess maybe it's Pathfinder in my head here, getting too complicated with it, but I feel like, Crush should be separate from like an attack that it can do. It should have, I think, a way to sort of come at you from the ground, and that be separate from the drop of the ceiling. But that might be just like overthinking it. I just find it weird that no matter what, it's got advantage on attack if you're medium or smaller, no matter what. That's just it. And it's like, why isn't it like, as long as it's in darkness and as long as the darkest aura is enveloping its target or itself, and the echolocation is not canceled out, and they're not deafened, and then they have advantage when they're coming down or something like that. Like, it just seems like they just tried to roll everything into one attack for simplicity's sake, and I just don't buy it. And like, you're right, I get it. Like, we drop down, fly off, false appearance, rinse, repeat. It's got 10 minutes to do that with the darkness aura. It's still going to be pretty gnarly to deal with in that regard, but I just don't buy that they have this advantage built into one attack no matter where they're at.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I almost wonder if they tried to avoid giving it something too similar to the Roper or the Piercer from that drop down.
You're probably right there. Also, this is like a CR 1/2 creature. Like, one hit from a first level creature is going to essentially end this thing.
Right. Yeah, very low HP.
Yeah, I did make a mistake there. It looks like it has 22 HP, not 11.
Oh, okay.
But
still goes down pretty quick. Yeah. And I guess you're likely to use a couple of these at the same time as well. Yeah,
and I mean, if it doesn't attach you, like, that's kind of its whole thing. Like, if it doesn't get you, it's done. Like, that's the whole premise behind these creatures, is it's got one shot, and if it misses, then it just flies away and absorbs back into the cave or the
resets.
Darkness.
Yeah. And you can have multiple of these and really like start to put the fear into your players. They're in the Underdark. It's really dark, and like, even they've got their torches out, and even their torches like seem to snuff out for a sec as something tries to dive on them, and then all of a sudden the darkness like follows the creature away, and the light comes back, and you're like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, and I mean, it's being unable to breathe with a very low con is not great, even in D&D 5e.
Yeah, true enough.
So, like, the suffocation rules are pretty, as far as rules go in D&D, they're pretty unforgiving.
I don't remember the last time I really looked at them. Probably the last time I ran with a gelatinous cube.
The rules as written is it's 1 plus its constitution modifier number of minutes, but when it runs out of breath or it's choking, it can survive for a number of rounds equal to its constitution modifier.
Gotcha.
I'll normally only use that first line in play if like it's something like swimming, like it's happening, like you're diving into a lake or what have you. But like if this creature falls on you, you didn't have time to catch your breath. You have a number of rounds equal to your con modifier.
Yeah, I dig that. Actually, I think that's a cool approach. You're caught by surprise. You're more likely to gasp and let some air out, and then maybe have a tiny fraction of a second to like pull a little bit more back in. If you realize what's going on. Yeah, I like that. My most satisfying part of this creature is your homebrew idea around holding your breath.
Yeah. I mean, I like the creature. I think it's a really cool idea. I agree with you. The execution is a little flawed. The problem is that I don't know how to make the execution better. Like maybe give it a piercing tentacle attack, like bam, bam, like 2d4. It hits you with these toothed tentacles.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that would even be maybe too much for a 1/2. I would genuinely be happy with like a tentacle attack, just like a 1d4, and like call it a day kind of thing. Because it does have the +3 going on as well. Yeah, just a little something that feels separate from, so that it can kind of defend itself. If it does manage to get stuck, it can still manage to sort of offense and defend itself a little bit, rather than having to swoop around every time and make it seem realistic or understandable.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't hate it, but I'm just like, I'm unenthused. If anything, I'm just imagining how to like put those into play. Like I said, like make a kind of a creepy, terrifying scene where everyone feels like they're in a lot of danger, but the danger's not quite as real. It's just that sense of urgency.
I feel like anything lower than CR1 is it's like an intro creature. Like this is right, like the Fisher Price D&D creatures. Like and for that, like for a party who's never played before or who doesn't really know what's happening, this could be a horrifying. And again, not all encounters need to be like a rough and tumble end of the day, take one party member down encounter. I think this is a really great like warm-up encounter. Like, you have your straightforward fight with a couple of goblins or whatever, but then you have this fight where it just comes out of nowhere. You have no idea what to do. One of your players is all of a sudden shrouded in this magical darkness. You can't find them and they're suffocating. Yeah. Like, I think this kind of creature thematically is, it's fine. But like experience-wise at the table, I think this could be a lot of fun for brand new players to just try and wrestle with this kind of an encounter, because it is a very unique encounter. And I think that's why I like it.
I like the idea of like the players setting in a sense of danger and fear early on for anything attached to the ceiling. Like just make them fear every stalactite above their heads. Right. And then you can get the Piercer and Roper in there. Honestly, I think I'm going to do Piercer and Roper next, because I want to explore that more now that we're talking about it. Yeah, I think that would be a cool way to get them started on these 1/2 creatures, and then maybe up the ante with other things. And you kind of give them this constant fear, and they're a little more ready for it, even though it's got the other ones probably have false appearance as well. I'm pretty sure they do.
Yeah, I think so.
But like, just have them constantly looking up, but never, ever able to tell which one's going to drop, and then when it drops and they think they're dealing with another Darkmantle, boom, Piercer, shit, what do I do? Something like that.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Just playing into that sense, yeah.
Like the old 1E 10-foot pole, except for the squares in front of you, it's for the stalactites in the ceiling.
Yeah. That's right. They got like was it the robe with all the patches on it? What's that called? Robe of many things. Like that? Yeah. Yeah. They're just like ripping off the ladder and just like tapping all of the stalactites. Quick, get on the barbarian's shoulders.
Robe of useful items is what it's called.
Oh, there you go.
And one of those items is a 10-foot pole.
Is it really? Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Give that early on. That's so
right.
Funny.
That's such a cool item.
It is neat. Yeah. All right. Well, pretty cool. Wow, this truly was one of the shorter ones, wasn't it?
Yeah, this might be our shortest episode yet.
You know why? Because I didn't call it.
Oh.
Every time I call it, we go for an hour.
There's also not a whole lot of changes to make to this creature to make it more interesting. Like,
yeah,
it's
as unenthused as I am, I'm with you. I'm like, I don't really have any solid explanation for it. Give it
I also don't
give it a
really want to
1d4
do
attack.
anything about it. Like I like the idea of the encounter that this thing presents, and that's it's a different type of encounter. It's not just, hey, you can see the goblins one off. Like it sets a tone early in a campaign, really early, like second session early. That it's not particularly deadly, but it's interesting and it's unique. And setting that precedent for your players is very important, because not everything can be solved by pure straightforward violence. Like this gives them a puzzle to solve, and I love that about encounters. That's one of my favorite things to give to you guys as a group is encounters that are puzzles, not encounters that are just brute force opposition. Right. Because you guys just handle yourselves when it comes to brute force opposition. So
yeah. Certainly good to have both varieties in the game to break up monotony. But it's easy to forget sometimes that some of these creatures are not designed for brute force at all. They're designed for a flavorful moment or encounter.
And, they're not designed for veteran players either. Like, this character is not designed for somebody who's been playing D&D for 20 years. Like, this is, like most things in 5e, this is an introductory character or a creature. And I think it plays that role pretty well.
Yeah. Cool. Well, neato.
Well, if you like that, you want to hear the Piercer and the Roper coming down the pipe from Mr. Freeman Easton, please subscribe and get ready for that. If you like this very, very tight episode, you can find us on patreon.com/encounter. This $5 a month gets you a handwritten thank you letter and access to the show notes, so you can see some of those fun octopus links and gifts that I threw in there. For $10 a month, you can suggest a creature. Maybe you want to get to know those Shatter Kai that we foreshadowed there. They are denizens of the Shadowfell and will be more than a little bit of work for us, which our patrons love to do. If you just want to get a little shout out, or you want to get a hold of us very quickly or briefly, you can find us on twitter.com or facebook.com at encounterpod, or instagram.com at encounter.pod for any of those images that we talked about, including the anatomy of the Darkmantle. That's a really cool image that we'll definitely be making it up there. If you want to find any of our past episodes, or maybe you're listening to this in the future and you want to find those Piercer and Roper episodes, you can find all of them at encounterthis.ca, free, ad-free, easy to listen to, quick links. If you've got a hot second, we would really appreciate a rate and review. It really does mean the world to us, especially coming off of something as big as Orktober. That was probably, at least for me, the most intensive suite we've done so far, and we've had a nice little bit of a break since then. But we have some big things planned for the new year. Maybe a cool little suite in February. We're kind of tossing around. So, I mean, that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening.
Gee, thanks.
I thought I had another Darkmantle pun in me, but I don't.
I think we're just exhausted. I hope this was okay, listeners.
So full disclosure, we're coming off of like a 6-hour day of recording of our other brand new show that I don't know if we've announced on here. We may have announced it in the last episode. It is called Stemming the Tide. It is a production brought to you by our newly formed podcast network. That does not include the show. The show will remain standalone and free from that influence, called The Uncharted North, which you can find at unchartednorth.ca or Stemming the Tide on any of your podcatchers.
And it's a Pathfinder 2nd Edition actual play podcast, so...
Yeah, that's probably important information.
Pretty major reason why we're keeping it separate from this. There's a lot of relation to the content, but it's not directly related enough. We want to keep this 5e forward and at the requests of our patrons and listeners for other systems. But if you feel like listening to a couple Canadians roll some dice around and fumble their way through a dark adventure, hit us up. Stemming the Tide.
Yeah, and Freeman is the game master for that one, so you can see what he really does as a GM instead of just getting to listen to some of the bullshit we put together. You can actually get into what he's doing.
Heck yeah.
Thank you so much for listening. We hope you had a great time, and we promise better, bigger episodes than this in the future. So it's just a nice little tight one to get me through after our October, because I am still tired.
Gotta have a brain break once in a while.
For sure.
But it was fun. I liked researching this creature, and I think it's an interesting one. But if you've got any cool ways that you want to use it, please reach out to us on any of the social medias with any ideas you've got.
Heck yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.